Episode 10, Phuket to Kranchanabrui, the bridge on River Kwai, 18th to 25th of March. Breakfast at a street-side fruit stall, $2 all you can eat. Koh Mayun's beach should be a fantastic tourist attraction, but it's deserted, there's nobody here. Just a lovely little coffee shop. Lampi Waterfall, a very good place for a cool off and a short nap. Oh bugger, who said you could nap? The port at Sea Star Ferry Crossing and ferry ride to Keho Island. This is the last ferry. I had a little bit of a bad gut feeling about this, but went anyway. There's supposed to be a beautiful camp here that I was planning to spend the night, but it was closed the day I got there. Beautiful beach, it would have made a wonderful camp. Instead I found this beautiful little cabin for $40, including dinner. Beautiful hosts. So here I am on the Coco Hay. Little fishing villages everywhere, of course, and the ferry terminal, sort of like a village. Now I got on this little boat, rock and roll girl, on an onion ferry boat from Koha. Girl's a little bit top heavy, so I sat on her just to hold her up. An early camp on a deserted beach and the opportunity to straighten out the saddlebag that I bent the other day. Beautiful sunset and nice cheap dinner just down the road a little bit. So here I am on the east coast, having a nice relaxed coffee before I start the day, dropping in all the different lookouts, all of which were beautiful and open. Keho Matsi viewpoint on my way north. It doesn't sound like there's far to go, but stopping to have a look at tourist attractions, sometimes the traffic, it just takes forever to cover very little space. The lighthouse down there. So I've been running for a couple of hours this morning, but barely covered 100 kilometres. There's just so much to see everywhere. Lots of lookouts, lots of beautiful views. Ta-da! Beautiful coastal fishing village sceneries all along here, and this beautiful long wharf which was closed, beautiful beach sceneries and fruit. So I got this beautiful little room for $40 and this outdoor area which will keep Rock and Roll Girl dry. It looks like a lot of rain hanging around. It's not much here, but just up the beach there's a beautiful seafood restaurant, and here we are quite a way up the Thailand Gulf. Making my way north to Mae Klong, there's quite a lot of golden builders and temples and things to look at. Some of them are still under construction. There's a beautiful military service memorial in there. You get a little bit over the golden Buddhas, but that's fine. Cheap hotel room for $27, 2 nights here. Nice safe dry lock up for Rock and Roll Girl. Beautiful room for the money with a window. So here I am, getting fairly close to Bangkok now. And laundry day again. Out to dinner. This is going to be good. Flower Street was great, very touristy. This is real. There's not a written word in English, not a single word. Hardly anyone speaks English. There's usually someone 2 or 3 stalls down that can understand a little bit, but Google Translate is getting a real flogging. and a lot of pointing and just getting by. There's this big palace temple-like thing. This is a real food market. There's I must be the only European in town, but look at this. And the food was absolutely delicious. I had some crispy pork and rice with a 600ml beer, followed by some hot dog like things in batter. And I tried one of these pork bracelets that the fella cooks up in oil right in front of you. And it's up and down several streets. It's not just one little street. This is real. This is not put on for the European tourists. And these ladies have been pushing this cart up and down the street, selling their wares to the vendors. Yeah, if you were in Chihuahua Street, everything would be in English. There's not a single word written in English, not a single word. Here's one of these little utes. These little utes pull above their weight. Couldn't you get some camping gear on that? My hotel's up that street. I've got an idea. The railway market's here somewhere. I'm sort of a little bit lost wandering around. Between Translate and Google Maps, we'll be right, mate. This should be different. Hang on. Just an ordinary market. Bit of a trip hazard with the railway tracks. Right on the railway track. Fish, fruit, vegetables. What looks like a lot of Chinese tourists. One for you, Joe. Right on the railway track. This is just ludicrous. There's streets and streets full of stalls.
열차가 이동 중일 때는 안전한 곳으로 대기하여 주십시오. 대기하는 동안 안전사고 및 소매치기에 주의하여 주시기 바랍니다.
I think it's coming this way. I don't know. It went that way about half an hour ago, and it's in the station.
Lấy la.
Living inside, dying inside. And if you want a stool, it'll cost you 20 baht. Whoops, that box probably. Live side, dead side.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. So much. Aj moramo ići nazad.
What train? No train, yeah. And pulled up by the police drink driving awareness. So if you don't like train markets, let's try floating markets. This would have been a traditional way of life when villagers were living on mangrove creeks and canal systems. Thank you.
อันนี้มันเป็นอันนี้นะยูวิดีโอ
On video, yeah. Thank you. Traffic jam at the market. floating markets. Would have been traditional when this was a traditional way of life. Small boats selling produce along this sort of life would have been traditional. Seen Kilroy pull a tiger by the tail. Look, people complain about this sort of thing, but it's keeping the species alive. And at the end of the day, these animals are bred in captivity. They are domestic pets. This is somebody's backyard pussycat. Don't play roughhouse, because it will eat you. Late in the afternoon, another floating market in a traditional village, far less touristy than the last one. Very quiet. It is late in the afternoon, but it was lovely just walking around, soaking up the atmosphere here. Oh, hang on, another golden Buddha. Breakfast along the road, absolutely delicious and dirt cheap. Beautiful view for the big white Buddha. Not actually a Buddha, just a gold bells type monument. Took some climbing up here in my heavy motorbike gear and the blazing sun. There we go. And beautiful view. Now see, if a bloke had any brains about him, he would have stopped down there in the car park with Rock and Roll Girl, sent the drone up for a look. Oh, afterthoughts. So that canal I was running on definitely looks like it's man-made off that river system. There's all rice paddies down there, a lot of cattle, a couple of feedlots, and there's cattle eating down the stubble in a couple of paddocks. Very much an agricultural rural community, and it's not just rice, there's a few other crops in there as well, but a lot of rice. The temple down below, thought we would have got a glimpse of that white Buddha that we saw in the car park. No, she's hiding behind this little outcrop. Oh, there she is, there's her head. There's her head. So it's quite steep, rocky. Oh, it'd have to be 35 degrees and 70% humidity. So why would I not climb that in my heavy motorcycle kit? Luckily, someone dropped bags and bags of water up here. No shade. Good solid footwear recommended. Johnny Reb's probably a bit heavy. So I made it down live. Yeah, sweat. That's last night's beer. I paid good money for that. Just to spread it out like that, I must have been paying nearly $2 a pint. Just to spread it out like that. The Heavenly Dragon, which is another cave temple with a lot of gold Buddhas and of course a viewpoint at the very top. Ta-da! And so now we're approaching Kranchanabrui, which is very famous for the bridge on the River Kwai. There's quite a lot of Australian bars, clubs and restaurants here, although a lot of the Allied forces were represented in this massive railway project undertaken by the Japanese. They were trying to connect Thailand's railway to Burma's railway. The conditions during the Second World War period here were absolutely horrific, unbelievable. Just brings a tear to your eye walking through the museums. The railway, or the Japanese, surrendered during this time, and many of these poor fellows were simply slaughtered. There are some very good relics in these museums, and I think the bridge is still used as a railway, but it's very touristy.